Hey, YouTube. I am trying to record this. This is the beginning of a very special project to me. I tried to record this episode yesterday. I technically did it. I just didn't like how it turned out. So, I'm going to try this one more time. Welcome to Road Trip. This is hands down the best video game ever made. I am not taking questions. I am not taking comments. I am not taking concerns. I'm just going to jump right into the game, and I can explain what exactly is going on as I play, but for now, I'm going to be naming my player character Michael for the sake of a joke that will not pay off for a very, very long time at the very least. Let me actually, no, not McCall, Michael. There we go. I know how to write numbers. I still, before last episode, I was like, oh man, I could name my currency anything I wanted. What if that would be really funny. It's not funny. So I'm just going to put dollars because usually or you know what? I've got a better idea. I'm going to call it gold. Because usually gold or dollars, that is like the go-to thing that I go to whenever I'm playing video games, is I will refer to like your currency as either gold or dollars. There is no in between, even though most games have like, is diegetic the right word? They have their own like unique name for the world's currency. But I don't want to participate in that. I would much rather... Oh, I got my favorite starting car! Let's go! I would much rather just not have to think about it. Anyway, the whole setup of this game is that was the president car in the previous scene in the White House. The literal White House. Yeah, let me just start moving. And he's like, I don't want to be president anymore, this job sucks, I want somebody else to do it. So then he pays his secretary to announce to the world that the winner of the World Grand Prix will be able to challenge him for the presidency. Just like how it should work in real life. I think that our political leaders should be entirely dependent on just some goofy stuff. It's something that genuinely does not make any sense. Wrong thing. I want this and I want that. I'll explain later, but for now, we have a bit of a drive to do, and that's a perfect excuse for me to, basically spoon feed the setup. Don't want to run into that guy. If you run into other cars in the world in this game, it will initiate dialogue. It cuts your speed dead down to 0. You no longer have speed when you initiate a conversation. So I'm going to do my best to avoid NPCs in the overworld until it's time for me to actually seek them out. There are a whole bunch of collectibles in this game that I will also be basically dodging until I make an episode to collect them. God, I can't speak. But for now, we're going to hop into the ocean, and it's going to be a 6 out of 10 time. Just absolutely dreadful relative to everything else in this video game. But that gives me plenty of opportunity to explain what I'm doing and what your responsibility is as the viewer, because I need social interaction, and I also need the algorithm to like my stuff marginally more than not at all, just for a self-fulfillment need. It's not like I'm financially grabbing at straws. I'm comfortable, don't worry. But I would like to maybe be able to do this because it's fun. So basically, I need you to go down into the comments and pick a number 1 to 100. If you don't want to inform that decision at all, just go down there, send it now. If you would like to have a little bit of context though, I'm going to be... Oh, perfect, we're coming up on the island already. I'm going to be playing through this game for 100% completion. So if we look into the notebook here and I click on stamps, there are 100 stamps in this game. In the description, I will be linking to a page that just contains descriptions for all of these things and tells you exactly what the requirements are for those stamps. But I want to have somebody specifically vote on what I'm doing every single episode. So, let's let the mob decide. Whatever you guys collectively want, that is the order I'm going to be doing things in. With the slight exception of I get to pick which stamp is first in the playthrough because it will make everything else a lot more smooth in terms of progression. I get to explore faster, and I get to be better at races in case I need money. So, let me just run into the Q's factory here. I suppose I could also explain that there's, like, more to this game than just driving around the overworld in your car. It's like Cars the movies. For Hunter, that's Cars the game's movie adaptation. Don't worry about it if you don't understand. But I'm going to be equipping these parts. This game is functionally what I like to endearingly call a car PG, because you're a car, but it's got RPG mechanics with stats and different builds, kind of, except the rockets are just a universal I win button, but it's also a racing game, and it's a 24 driver race where you are always seated to the back of the race at the very beginning. That shouldn't matter for, like, anything, especially because when you get your own NPC, like, friends to race on your team, they will help you generate money. Assuming that they have, like, sufficient parts to actually help you with your races. Basically, they're nice, they're useful, and you want to kit out everybody to be good enough at racing so that when you actually do the Grand Prix, your whole team has a realistic shot of actually winning the whole thing. Last time I did this setup I'm doing here, basically we're going to be doing a cool little jump to start a side quest. To kind of start two side quests. Okay, I took that way too wide, but I think it came out fine. Perfect. So the idea to that jump is to just not run off to the edges, and the physics in this game are just absolutely blessed, as you can tell. There's nothing quite like it. It's the perfect amount of jank, but because I've played this game since I was an infant, basically, I know how it goes, I know how it feels, so I'm gonna do it. But, we need to go in here, and the idea was that I was going to jump off of that ramp in a straight line, and it would land me right where I need to be. But, it didn't exactly go how I was planning for it. That's okay, though. We still made it here. On the previous recording that I tried to do, I managed to fail that jump, like, once, and then I got two other, like, versions of that jump to just not pan out in the way I would expect it to. Oh, sweet, I get to, like, catch Kaori here-ish. I think she comes up this way. Yeah, cool. Oh, my turning's bad. It's fine. We got her. So, we talked to her. And that's just the end of the side quest. All we have to do is go back to the quest giver. His name's Sandro. He's a scientist. And he will reward us with the rockets. The rockets are the most important piece of equipment known to man. So I will simply be grabbing them. When it comes time to do collectibles and stuff, I will probably go down to, like, this equipment, or very close to base equipment, unless I'm just feeling lazy and I'm like, well, I already have the stuff and I don't really want to put in the effort of, oh, I'm going to do this 13 times to do the things. I don't know, it just depends on how hard-working I'm feeling at the time. Okay, I think that's the perfect jump. It is not a perfect jump, but it'll function, hopefully? No. Okay, cool. So that's 2 recordings in a row where the jump just doesn't work properly, even though I have... A couple days ago, I set it up, I did it like 5 times in a row, and for some reason I just don't seem to be getting the speed I need. But you saw me do the jump once. You have not seen me do the jump the intended way, but we can all confirm it works. So now all we have to do is confirm that it works the way I want it to. Typically you clear this gap if you're going like 80 miles an hour and you have 3 stars worth of off-road tread. And off-road, on-road, and wet road tread. Those are 3 separate stats. Okay, we were not even going 80, but we cleared it with aplomb. That's what the jump's supposed to look like anyway. But then we skirt, and now we got the rockets. And that's going to be very important. I forgot, it's not just 1 stamp I'm doing. I'm doing 2 to set up for another thing, because based on the, what do we call it? The votes that I've gotten for this playthrough, like, ahead of time, I already know that there are a handful of people that want me to do one particular stamp that has a prerequisite, so I'm going to do that prerequisite now, especially because it is entirely necessary for a ton of other stuff. So here are the rockets. You press the R2 button, and then you go faster. These things are incredible. They increase your top speed, they help you with your turning. In every sense of the word, they are a crutch to get you to win the game, but going out of your way to play without them makes it needlessly difficult. I had to, when I played the game, never picking up a pair of jet turbines, I had to specifically get 100% in everything that did not require these. Or, I guess most importantly, I had to, like, leverage quests that reward you with car parts, which I'm not going to complain about doing those quests because the car parts are very valuable and I think that the side quests are fun. But not having the rockets means that you need everybody to have the literal best equipment. And at the end of that playthrough, I tied for first place in the Grand Prix and just happened to win because the game decides to break ties in your favor. So, I guess I picked right. But it was just a whole thing. I probably should, like, ignore the town we're about to head through, but I guess I can just stop in the Q's factory anyway, just to introduce the area. We started out in Peach Town, which was a bit to the northeast from where we're currently at, and up ahead here is Fuji City. It is based on traditional Japan, like, you know, the thing people think of when you hear, oh, it's old Japan. Anyway, we're not going to be doing much here. We're just going to cruise on through. And I feel like I'm missing something that I wanted to tell you to comment about. Comment a number 1 to 100 if you want to research. I'm going to have that link in the description. I'm going to kind of gamify it. Basically, you guys interact in the comment section, reply to each other, start a flame war, I don't care. Actually, I do care. Start a flame war. Do it. Do it. Do it. Because I think it would be really fun to watch, and I also really, really want engagement, and I want to talk to the people. But more importantly than that, the more votes I get, the more votes I can hopefully continue to get as the series goes on, because I don't want to just be like, oh, well, this whole series just kind of ran out of steam. Okay, I'll figure something out. I think I just keep going, like, down this direction. We'll come back by the highway, and then when it's back on the minimap, we kind of turn towards it. Excuse me. Okay, no, we want to go way more west than that. But we're close. Basically, I'm just taking Path of Least Resistance in the overworld to do my 2 setup stamps. Rockets are convenient, and my garage is going to be... I wouldn't call it a central mechanic. I'm also, like, way too far north, aren't I? No, I'm just past it. Am I? I've gotten myself lost. So this is the highway. It's going south here. And then the highway... No, this is not the right place. I need to follow the highway south-ish? I can't believe I managed to get lost. I've done this drive a few times in my day. I'm pretty sure it branches off from this south-reaching point. No, I'm just not in the right spot. Oh, no, I am. Okay, never mind. I just had, like, a mega goofy moment. But that's okay. In fact, I would encourage all of you to go out and be goofy today. If not today, then tomorrow for sure. Because yesterday you said tomorrow. No, that's too deep of a cut. Nobody's gonna know that reference. There are like 2 people that get that reference, because it was like a 2018 meme. And that's how I still live. Anyway, I'm just gonna mash through that dialogue. Here it is, the ugliest garage known to man. It has literally nothing in it. It's my ideal living space. But we're gonna fill it with a bunch of stuff by the end of the playthrough anyway. You have emails. It's just like adult life. all these emails that you do not need to read. They don't mean anything important. You have the stylish pattern, which you will be unequipping as soon as you get anything else. And then this is fast travel to minigames and stuff. But you can go outside. This counts as a warp, which I should probably explain warping. You can warp to every single Q's factory you visit, and that's why I went out of my way to visit in Papaya Island. This is an empty city that will soon be very, very well populated and very cool. But, first things first, let's see here. Items. I currently have the stylish pattern. Cool. That's like my reward for this quest. I guess let's just go down the list. That's the inventory on the left. I will be collecting items throughout the playthrough, and the more items I have, the closer we are to done, basically. But it's not all-encompassing. They all have, like, little splash texts on them like that. So, when we get one, I will hopefully have the mind to actually highlight it so you guys get the opportunity to actually read about it if you want. Choroku coins, those are a collectible throughout the world. Not contained in the inventory because they're kind of like stars in Mario 64, except instead of being required to beat the game, it's just like an optional thing. But they do give you very, very helpful rewards deeper into the game when you trade them in. Heavy quotes around trade them in, because you keep them in the menu, but you get rewards for having more of them. It's nice. Mileage is just the amount of time we've spent, and mileage is broken up for advertisements, typically, because you drive an amount of time with the billboards on you. And when you get teammates, they can also wear these advertisements and just make the money for you, but you don't actually earn that money until you go back to the shops that the billboard is relevant to. There are 5 different billboards in the game, and basically as you go down the list, they're all more valuable. Coconut Shop is the last one because the island's supposed to be the last place you access in the game, but don't worry about it. Hopefully this will mean that I don't have to do a whole lot of like grinding races, and I don't have to play a lot beyond, oh hey, how do I want to set up this episode? Where do I want to start? What equipment do I want to use for this area so I can go do the quest? Oh, the radio! So we've been listening to the very trill tunes of Chorokyu, but we can also go into some licensed music, mostly by the Push Kings. But I'm not going to play too much of it in case they happen to still be protective of their copyright. And then there's also a song called Jade. I didn't look up the band that wrote that song between last attempt recording this and now. Don't worry about it. With Notebook, in order to beat the game, we need to get a top 6 placement in all of these like ranked courses. And then there are 2 special courses, which we don't need to play to beat the game, but I will be playing them at least once. And then pictures, this is relevant for 1 stamp, but I will also be doing all of these probably segmented of like, oh hey, I'm exploring this town for this episode because I need to get all of the houses in this area. The quick pick shops don't count as houses, but I figure I might as well do that at the same time just to kind of introduce the game. And then there's warps. Every major location in the game, you can get one of these too, and it's mostly helpful, like late game, where you will warp to an area, specifically with the purpose of, oh hey, I need to do this race. But throughout the majority of the game, in this playthrough, I will be getting a lot more value out of it, because I'm going to be crisscrossing the map time and time again. Oh, excuse me, I can't stop burping. But I believe that's all for the setup of this episode. This went much smoother than last recording. But I think I am going to leave off this episode here. So please, leave me comments. I want to watch you guys fight each other. I will also fight in the comments if you guys are willing to fight in the comments. So just go for it. It'll be a great time. But until next time, I'm probably going to upload one of these like every week, every other week. I don't want it to be a super frequent thing. I'll probably do like 2 stamps per, and then it'll just be like a year-long project for me. It'll be good fun, especially if you give me engagement. I need engagement to breathe, I need it to live, I need it to eat, I need it to sleep. Anyway, goodbye for now!